This is Real Life with Deb Waterbury, a real show for real people with real issues. And now, here's your host, Dr. Deb Waterbury.
Well, hi there. Welcome to this episode of Real Life with Deb Waterbury. We are still right in the middle of our Mind, Body, and Soul series, and I've been really looking forward to this interview probably more than any of the others. Anybody else, if you see this, I didn't really say that, but I have to say it for her. Danielle is one of the co-owners of Hush Salon and Day Spa, and Danielle is one of my oldest friends. We've been friends for, how old do we want to say? 20-something years?
Oh gosh,
22.
the number's big.
I know, 22, 23. When I first moved to Tucson, and I'm gonna let her tell the story just because it's horrible and I have to let her tell it.
It's pretty bad.
But she was, I went, you know how you would go to somewhere and you want to know, as soon as you move somewhere, you want to know where to get your hair done. So we were at church and I saw this girl, she had really cool hair. So of course I walk up to her and say, you know, where'd you get your hair done? And she told me. It was actually called The Edge where you worked because you weren't even on this yet.
Yes, it was The Edge.
So it was called The Edge. And so I went there and met Danielle. And, you know, after she tells this story, I will tell you that it was, I had to decide if I loved her or hated her. And it was one or the other. And I finally decided that I loved her. So I walk in, Danielle, and I'm walking around. I'm going to tell part of it. You can tell your line. So I walk in and I got this, I've been cutting my own hair for a long time. So you can only just imagine what that looked like. But I was pretty sure I was all that in a bag of chips. And so I sat down and I said, I want my hair just trimmed, but just like this. And you went, okay. And just kind of walked around me. And then you said, now, are you sure you want it like that? I said, yes, I want it just like this. Just keep it like this. It wasn't like this, God bless America. It was something else entirely. And I said, yes, I just want it shorter. Okay. So she walks around again. Second time, are you sure this is the way you want it? And I said, yes, this is the way I want my hair. I just want it shorter. All right. And then she walked around and it was the third time. She stopped in front of me. Are you sure this is what you want? And I finally went, what? What are you trying to say to me? What are you saying? And what did you say?
Well, I said, I'm very blunt, and I said, you're either going to love me or hate me, but you look like Duran Duran. And we've got to do something about it.
She did, and she said, we need to get you into this decade.
And we're going to do it today, or you're going to walk out.
And I looked at her and thought, do I like you? I'm not sure if I like you, but then I realized I really loved her, and she gave me the best haircut of my life. And I have been with her ever since. So, and then she was there and I've been with you. I remember looking at properties when y'all are fixing to open up your new salon and trying to help you figure out where to have it. So we go back a long way.
We would sneak in the back of the salon out in the desert and talk about me opening my own salon.
Me and my hair color, you know how pretty that looks. You know, your hair sticking all up with my cape on and she'd be out there looking all beautiful. We're in the alley. It's not a pretty sight. But anyway, so Danielle and I go way back. And I'll tell you what, I refer everybody to this place. And I didn't want to do a Mind, Body, and Soul episode without featuring the salon that I'm at every 3 weeks with one of my favorite people on the earth. So this is Danielle Jones. Thank you for being, not Jones, sorry, Colucci. You know, okay, so she was Jones when I first met her. I went backwards.
She's going deep.
I went well, we're talking about Duran Duran.
That's right.
So
we had to go with Jones first.
Yeah, she was Jones back then. That was a whole other story. But anyway, so
I am a Colucci now.
She's a Colucci now. She's Italian anyway.
And you married me.
I know.
You married me.
I know. Sorry, Anthony. So yeah, we're actually going to talk about the salon in a minute. So Danielle, tell everybody sort of, you know, what was the deal with who you were partners with? Why'd y'all open the salon? Because this looks like a New York salon. I mean, this is the coolest place.
We love it. We absolutely love it here. So again, you know, my partners, Kathy and Sherry, are my two best friends of 30 years.
Just next to me. They're best friends next to me.
Next to her, exactly.
Thank you. Just got to make sure that's straight.
And I worked with Sherry side by side for 25 years, and Kathy worked on the east side of town, and we decided we're going to open up a salon, and Kathy was not into it, and we forced her.
I remember it was only me and you and Sherry meeting in the alley. It wasn't Kathy.
And here we are 18 years later with our own salon, and we absolutely love it.
Yeah, it is. This place is so, how many stylists y'all have now?
Well, we have 13 stylists, and then we have some nail techs. We have girls in the back who do lashes and facials.
This is a full service salon and spa, believe me, and they will. It really is on the level of a New York salon.
Yes,
yeah,
I like to think so.
It really, I mean, and when you come here, you'll see that, and you cannot have. I have so many people. Obviously, they'll see me and they want you to do their hair, because they see my hair and you're booked all the time. And what I tell them is you cannot find a bad stylist in this place.
Absolutely.
They're all trained and monitored and groomed by y'all. So everybody who does hair in this place is spectacular.
We've had girls here for 17 years.
Yes.
And so they've been assistants, we've trained them. And so it's like one big family.
Yeah, it really
family.
is. So what is the thing that made you start doing hair?
I mean, let's go back to the 80s. I was in high school.
So that's why you knew that decade so well and how to get me out of it.
I still love it. The 80s are the greaties. I would blow dry people's, or not blow dry, I would hairspray their hair in class and they'd come out with big hair. And everybody knew I did it, and I just loved it.
You mean you got everybody the big hair?
And I would cut hair, and I would tell them I've done it for a long time, and I never did, but they let me cut it. And I just loved making people look beautiful.
So when did you actually get into doing hair? Was it like right out of high school?
It was a year after high school.
Really?
I worked at my parents' restaurant, Bianchi's, and then I went to beauty school. They tried to make me go to college, and I said, it's going to be a big mistake, a lot of wasted money.
And they believe you now, because don't you do everybody's hair in your family as well?
You don't want a big family doing hair.
No, this Italian
I'm
family.
kidding, I love my family.
And I do want to do a little plug for Bianchi's, because this is the family restaurant. Her daddy started it how many years ago?
Oh, 40.
40 years ago, Bianchi's, and her daddy passed away how long ago? 9 years ago? And her brother took over, so I'm telling you, you want to make sure you go to it's my favorite Italian restaurant in the city, so I'll stop talking about Stop talking about Bianchi's. Okay, so tell me, what is your favorite thing about, owning your own salon?
Ooh. Having two partners as best friends. There's three of us, and we were told a long time ago, do not go into business with your friends. You will lose your friends. And I am just so thankful. I would not be able to do this without them. They are my everything. Those
are
girls.
Phenomenal people.
There's three of us, so it's 2 out of 3 win. You got to vote. And I'm kind of Switzerland between the two. That's what they call me, Switzerland.
I have a hard time seeing you as Switzerland. I've had many knots on my head from you saying you're not in charge of your hair and hit me with a hairbrush.
You can't be in charge of everything.
It's not what I think. I feel like I should be at least in charge of my hair, but I'm happy that I'm not, because Let me
look at her. She looks amazing.
People ask me, "Gosh, when did you get your hair like that?" I'm like, I'm not the boss of my hair. I do whatever she tells me to do.
And every time we decide, how can we make this better?
Yes.
And
whatever we do, occasionally it just amps it up a little bit more.
Just a little bit.
Honestly, she's an artist, and everybody in here is an artist. There's 2 more questions that I have. One of them has to do with what do you see for the future of Hush? Like, do you see a future? Because the blank.
I mean, right now with what's going on in the world, I don't know if there's a future. I'm just kidding. There's going to be a future. I'm going to be 50.
What are you saying that for on camera?
Because I feel good being 50.
You look good.
And eventually these legs might give out.
Yes.
So we got to look into maybe an exit strategy, getting some of the girls to invest in the business.
Very good.
Buy shares and see where we go.
Oh, that's a really good idea. I hadn't thought about that.
Because we want Hush to stay alive.
Yeah, that's your legacy.
That's right.
It is absolutely your legacy. So the last question is, when somebody walks in and they're just like, a hot mess, what do you say to them to get them to literally be,
melt in your chair?
Yeah, let you do what your artistry. Because I can imagine that's not easy. You had me, and I got my Duran Duran wannabe hair, and I want to tell you, this woman, for the longest time,
about 15 years.
15 years had my old driver's license.
And I would show everyone.
Because I, like a boob, gave it to her. And then she literally showed it to everybody.
I just wanted them to trust me at how good I could.
Look at this piece of work, and I fixed her. So yeah.
So you too could be fixed.
So that's what you do. That's putty in their name.
Exactly.
Well, honestly, what do you do with people, especially like me, who are like, no?
Well, you just want to be in control, and you want them to trust you.
Right.
So you kind of get at their level and say, you have beautiful hair. I love what you have going. I would love to just tweak it a little bit, give you a little bit of maybe some low lights bring out your eyes, or the coloring's not right for your skin tone. And if you just go easy with them, they will start trusting you. And once the trust comes in.
And y'all are all so trained. I mean, I know you go to school. You send them to school. You guys go to school constantly.
We have classes all the time.
Yes, staying up on the latest trends. So all that to say, I'm telling you, everybody needs a good hairstylist, and that's for the most. I mean, I get stopped. I've gotten stopped in other countries about
I'm sure
my hair.
your husband's about tired of that.
He is. We get stopped in New York. I get stopped everywhere about my hair because people are looking for someone who they can trust with their hair. I mean, this is a big deal. I remember that old commercial long time ago. I don't know. It was a L'Oreal commercial back when I was young. And it just said, if your hair doesn't look good, you don't look good. And I remember that just stuck in my head, even as a child. That was an old commercial. And it really is. I mean, it's kind of that first impression that people have.
It's the first thing they see.
And it makes you feel better about yourself. And with this mind, body, and spirit whole thing that we're doing, this is part of not only what you look like, but how you feel about what you look like.
You have to walk tall.
Even if you're short.
Even if you're short. Yes. And going back to what you said about how do they trust you? I asked a woman the other day, I've been doing her hair for 2 years, real quick. I said, why do you keep coming back to me? And she says, wow, I've never had anybody ask me that question. She says, well, first of all, you know how to style hair. Every time I leave a salon, I have to go home and wash my hair.
That's a good point.
Very, very good point. If you can style, you can do anything.
That's true.
And then she says, I can have conversation with anybody, but the conversation here is real. And it's just, you can't get that genuine, real people everywhere you go.
And honestly, this is just, and you feel like you're part of this big old family.
Yes.
Whenever you come in, and she can style hair, and that is a big deal. How many people that you go to get your hair cut, and then you go, good Lord, I can't wait till I get home and fix it myself.
Who wants to go home and blow dry their own hair?
I know. Exactly.
It's not right.
It ain't right.
It ain't right.
So, okay, so all the information for Hush is going to be underneath here. And I'm so excited to have you on this. And I'm not sure, are they doing a giveaway? We talked to them yet? Okay, we're going to talk about giveaways anyway. We're doing all this big promotional giveaway stuff. Y'all have seen these things as we're doing them. So they'll be doing a giveaway. And again, you're going to want to go follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook so you can see when that happens, because I mean, you find a good stylist, man. You find a stylist, you can find a plastic surgeon, you can find a doctor, you can find anything you want. Because everything happens. Yeah, everything happens in the chair, man.
Exactly.
You find out honestly, that's the truth.
It's the truth.
It is the truth. So make sure you follow all those places so you can find the next giveaway. Thank you so much. All of her information is underneath here, so you guys can get in touch with Hush and stopping me in Walmart, because that's usually what happens about my hair. I love you.
I love you more.
Thank you for being with me. Mwah. Love you guys. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Real Life with Deb Waterbury. I hope it's been a blessing to you as much as it was to me. If you want any of my books or information on articles or any of my speaking engagements, you can go to my website at debwaterbury.com. God bless you.